Hey, what's going on, guys? I got a special guest here. We have two special guests, actually. We have Graeme and Leanne Carling. They're co-founders of the Carling Group, and they are one of the largest real estate holders in Scotland. I'm so excited to have you guys on. I wanted to ask you first off, how did you gain this global perspective? Because I understand you invest in Scotland, you got business in the US, you got business in Dubai. How do you view the globe? How did you come up with that?
Jordan, thank you very much for having us. First of all, much appreciated. Yep.
Yep, thanks for having us, Jordan.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think for us, we're from Scotland originally. We started our real estate acquisitions in 2007-8 in Scotland. And we live in Dubai now, so we're in the UAE. We have properties in Spain, and we travel frequently to the US. And really for us, when we started our journey, our entrepreneurial journey together, we made a conscious decision that we needed to continue on a lifelong being financially educated. And so we embarked on seeking out the best educators around, the best ones in the world. So we in the early days, 2008, we would regularly travel across to Phoenix, Arizona, and go to the Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki seminars, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert and Kim Kiyosaki. And we've done that sort of twice, three times a year for probably the best part of 8-9 years.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
so we were going there, so it was very much a financial education remit that we were on and still on to this day, and we'll never stop that. So we travel the world, going, to the best seminars, to meet the best people that we really love. So at the time, we'd met, just over the years, we'd met many people, similar, like-minded people, entrepreneurs at the start of their journey, or maybe more advanced than us, and they were flying into Phoenix from all over the world. It could be Russia, Estonia, China,
Oh, wow.
Australia, UK, Sweden, Poland,
All different
New
parts
Zealand,
of the USA.
US, so all over the world used to go there. So it was a great mix and a great environment, and it was such a great networking, really, that you were hearing what was going on and opportunities and deals and in other countries. So we were always intrigued and really loved the thought from early on of doing business internationally. I mean, and really, it's kind of crazy to think that, the best deals are going to be the ones on your doorstep. They might be, and they might be for a period of time. And in our case, we had some great deals on our doorstep when we first started. But of course, there's a big world out there. There's a big whole load of opportunities. And I think that, when something's tightened up in some countries, the other opportunities appear in other countries, and that's just the way the world. And we've seen that for a number of years. So for us, if we were going to expand ourselves, our businesses, we really needed to, get in the game properly, expand from our base in the UK, and really commit to working with partners in countries that we didn't operate in, but people that talk the same language as us, have the same ambitions as us, and we will take equity stakes in those businesses and partner with them in new sectors, in new geographies, and to develop and grow our group of companies.
Absolutely, which is incredible because you start to realize that the power of networks and the power of paying for these educations, because most people are like, you got to go to school, then you got to go to college, then you got to graduate. And it's like, no, you could just pay to go to one of these groups, get a global perspective on what's going on, and learn a vast amount more in a much more condensed time frame. So how did you guys, because I find it very interesting when relationships are kind of running together. How did you guys manage that? Did you both have the same ambition?
We both had the same ambition. We were both, very, very entrepreneurial. I didn't really know what that was until I met Graeme, but I knew what I was doing wasn't what I wanted to do. And then Graeme had
Yes.
me to, you know, financial education, and Graeme had 3 failed businesses previously. So, you know, he had already started his entrepreneurial journey. And then when I met him, the kind of light bulb went on for me, and I was like, well, this is what I want to do, you know, I want to, you know, have my own business, you know, my own companies. I was doing really well in the corporate world, and so was Graeme, after he'd had his failed businesses. And then, you know, we just really aligned, and something clicked, and we're on the same page. We consciously made the same decision that we want to learn together, we want to work together. We did meet through work, so we have always worked together, but it just works for us. And we always say that we've got one life. It's not work and family, it's just one life combined.
Mhm.
So I think that's a super important point for the audience listening, because a lot of people are like, we have to separate this family time and our time and work time. So I think it's cool that you have one life, because a majority of the time we don't have that thought process, and we don't realize that we go through seasons in our life where we're growing or we're doing different areas. And it's a way for you guys to combine each other's relationships and not have one of you go off all day doing a different activity, come back and be like, how'd you do today? I can't even debrief you on my entire day. I don't even know. Like,
and there are times that, you know, we're working on different projects, and I'll say to Graeme, like, you know, you completely 100% focus on that project, and I'll sort the family, and vice versa. So we're there to support each other when we do work on different projects.
absolutely. Absolutely. So what gave you guys the thought process to even find Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad conference? Because it seems like it's a ways away from Scotland, and I understand he's got a global perspective, but it's kind of, that first conference I can imagine is a major investment where you're like, how do I even think about this?
Well, I'll let Graeme tell you the story in this, because it's pretty funny.
No, yeah, well, it was in 2002 after my 3rd failed business, and I was broke, absolutely skint back, you know, licking my wounds, ego dented, really in a bad place. And I just got started back in mainstream employment. I had to go back and get a job. I needed to start earning some money and recover financially and emotionally and all that stuff. And I caught the tail end of an Oprah Winfrey show on the TV, and she was interviewing a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. This was 2002. So I interviewed, and he was promoting his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I went and bought the book, just started back working again, like I said. And really, that was a wow moment for me. It really taught me, that one book, how little, or I mean, I knew nothing. I had zero financial education. No wonder my businesses failed. I knew nothing about debt, leverage, taxes, other people's money, other people's time, you know, assets, liabilities, cash flow. I had no real clue, and I'd never been in an environment that was, you know, had promoted anything like it. So that was in 2002. So it was a real, had a real impact on me at that time. So I made sure I read every single Rich Dad series book. I subscribed to the Rich Dad Insiders. They used to have it every Tuesday, you know, and they'd stream it live. And I was even back working, you know, I'd make sure that I watched it online, you know, religiously. So for years and years, so I immersed myself and got myself and recovered financially and confidence and emotional to get back in the game again. So it was in 2002 to 2007, then the financial market crash and things started to make sense. And the first seminar we went to was how to predict the future. And that was a seminar that Robert, and this was right in the financial crash. And I've been watching it, reading about it. It was how to predict the future. And I thought, I must go to this. And you're absolutely right, Leanne, I'll tell you. I mean, we could not afford it at that time. We were just getting started. It was a huge expense to come from the Highlands of Scotland, if you like, to go and make a big commitment to travel across to Phoenix. And you know, and it was one of them, I think I'd emailed them and tried to get them to, you know, feel sorry for me and give me a discount. And, you know, they told me to piss off type of thing, you know.
But I think, as we said earlier, we made a conscious decision to learn and grow together. and we couldn't afford it, but we would sacrifice other things in our life to make sure that we could. And I remember years and years ago, one of my friends saying, you guys spend more on that than I did my wedding, you know, like the financial education.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sticks with me to this day, but, you know, it's something that we still do to this day. You know, we want to learn and we want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And there's so many people who don't even, it's this concept that's very, like, you find super successful people obviously investing in education. But a lot of people don't, like the common people don't even understand it because they don't realize that the not like applied knowledge is power. If you know something that other people don't know, you can make a massive opportunity there. So that first conference you go to and you go back to Scotland, what did you realize and what did you see in regards to opportunity? Obviously, prices were going down on properties. How did you think about all that?
Well, we'd already done a couple of deals before we went there. Not many, but we'd done a few. So we were in the game. We were active because the market was good. It was hotting up. What that done was it was so way out there. This seminar. I mean, it was just mind blowing. And I remember, you know, just going after 3 full days and nights, you know, and homework at night and all that. I mean, they were intense, really intense seminars. I remember going, yeah, like, where, you know, this is just incredible. The opportunity that's there, you know, we can really make an impact here. And it's up to us to go and deliver and take advantage of the opportunity and the fear and craziness that was in the market, that actually this was a good time to be buying. So we just got us, you know, pulled our socks up and just went for it. You know, we just kept going and made sure that we had always had our real target, that by the time the next seminar came around in, you know, 4, 5, 6 months' time, that we had done significantly greater than the last seminar. So that was it was a good benchmark for us. And it kept us, there's no way we're going back just owning a few properties. We need to have done a lot more deals and a lot more deals. And there were kind of key milestones.
It really held us accountable that what we learned at the seminars or on the courses, that we went back, applied, and then the accountability, you know, we were going back in a couple of months that we could say, right, we've applied everything we've learned and, you know, it's worked for us. It hasn't worked for us, you know, this is what we've learned. And I think when you're meeting people globally, this is another thing. You learn different ways of working and different, you know, there's different ways, you know, for creative finance, etc., etc. So when you're hearing that from different people, the question we always ask is, how can we apply that, or how does it work in Scotland, or does it work in the environment that we're building business? So it's another learning tool.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was thinking about that, the thing I was nodding my head about was the fact that you're sitting there and you're like, we're going to the next conference. It was a ton of money, but at least we already we invested a lot, but we want to see the progress we're going to make. And if we can keep seeing progress, then we can keep going to these conferences. Because if you hold them, most of the time what ends up happening is, say they let you go for free. You would have gone and you would have thought it was valuable, but it wasn't as valuable because it wasn't paid for. It wasn't invested.
There has to be it has to, I'm not saying painful, but it has to be there has to be value to it. You know, you have to have put some money in or made a commitment to that. And I think for us, again, one of the milestone was we needed to make sure we earned enough money to get to the next seminar. So that kept us on our toes, because that was another big investment, you know, that we were, again, to go to the next one. And we loved it so much. We loved Scottsdale. We loved arriving at Phoenix Airport. We loved going to, you know, the resort, Scottsdale Resort, Scottsdale Plaza. We loved all of it, you know, so we were desperate to go back again. So it really gave us that incentive.
Absolutely. And that's why people always say, like, when you're on the come up, when you're going through the progress, maybe try out the really nice hotel or try out the nice area, because you get a taste of it and you're like, I want more of that. but you
Yeah.
doing it with financial education is even better.
Yeah.
And then how did you guys focus on, and I understand it might have been a different time period, but how did you focus on having one mentor? Because nowadays I feel like people are inundated through social media, YouTube. There's so many mentors, and one of the keys to success that I've seen is focusing one mentor in one area of life, because otherwise you can get too overwhelmed because people are saying 100 different things.
Well, I think for me, on that, I always say be careful who you take advice from. So what mentor is the mentor that you're seeking advice from, where you want to be or where you want to go? Because there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people giving you stuff, and are they actually doing what they say they're doing? That's a big thing for me. Are they,
Are they walking the talk?
are they walking the talk? So, I mean, I really research who you would like to be your mentor, but are they doing what they say they're doing? And are they where you want to be?
I think for us, we started at the top and work our way down, rather than the opposite way. There's so many people that, and if you even look at like Robert Kiyosaki, there are far more prominent mentors and coaches, if you like, on social media and available than what Robert's done. There are better marketers of his information than actually Robert, but he's the man. He's the rich dad. He's the guy. So we went there. We could have easily have done a rich dad education course in the UK from disciples, if you like, of the rich dad message and method. But we wanted to hear it from the man. So we'll go to the man, like Dan Pena. We don't do Dan Lok or any of these. We're going to the guy that has done it, the guy right at the very top. That's just how we've done it. It's not to say you won't get value from these others. And therefore, then, there are only a few of these guys. So that keeps it simple. It keeps it absolutely simple. You've got to pay the money for it. But then that keeps it simple. There isn't hundreds of them. There are only a few of the real top.
I love that distinction. Yeah, no, because it makes a lot of sense. Because the way you distinguish that, I think, makes a massive difference. And you guys just mentioned about leading by example. So how has that showed up in your life? Because I know in our pre-call, you guys were like, we do the work, but we also show the work. We show that we're doing the work. So how do you guys lead by example?
I think, if you were to ask anyone about us, we are, and particularly people who work for us over a number of years, whether it be advisors, staff, management directors that work in our companies, they will see that we are the real deal in terms of, if we say we're going to do something, we do it. If we get, we show our washing, we show our pants, when good or bad, we talk about good or bad because it's real. We are nobody's guru. We tell everybody, but this is just what works for us. This is what has worked for us. This is what we're working on. And this is what hasn't worked for us. But then we just get over that quickly and we move on. So I think we're congruent. We're very congruent. We're here in Dubai because we wanted to do business in Dubai. We are not talking about it, spreadsheeting it, looking at it on a photo from the Highlands of Scotland. We are here located our family, with 4 suitcases and moved and arrived in Dubai and set up our lives there. So I very much think we lead by example. We're available when we say we are. Our son at the moment is down in Spain. He's only 16. He's buying his first business down there.
Oh, wow.
We've been talking about this for years, that, we want our kids to get involved and fail faster as soon as they can. We're not talking about that. We really mean the things that we say. And he's down here. He's bought his first business. It opens at the end of this month. He's been in the newspapers in the UK, and he's in the game. He's on it. And fail faster, get the mistakes, get the lessons and the learnings out the way. So I think there's many examples we could give you, but that's just a few of them that where, I suppose, we don't just talk the talk. This is just what we do.
Absolutely.
To back Graeme up, we're not scared to talk about the failures and what we've learned. And I think that's a big thing for the team. We can share our lessons on what we've learned so that people don't make the same mistakes as us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the main thing I wanted to hear really was, I mean, you guys are obviously Scottish and you guys relocated the family to Dubai. Like that is a massive transition. But when you see opportunity, you got to take it. Because obviously, I imagine you have family there. Your
Yeah,
kids, he's 16. So that means it happened when he was like 10, 11, 12, 13. Like these aren't easy ages to transition, but you start showing them that it's a global world and that opens up a lot of opportunity for
yeah.
sure. So, what are some, you guys mentioned it, what are some of the failures that you guys overcame or dealt with or felt the challenges of?
There's been many. I mean, we bought wrong businesses. We bought distressed businesses we shouldn't have. We've bought properties we shouldn't have. We've bought portfolios where some of them weren't up to scratch. We've had to deal with that. We've worked with advisors that weren't good enough. We've had staff that were loyal people but simply weren't up to the task. There's been so many things over the years. We've made some stupid investments.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Costly.
that. Some of the deals that we've looked at, we've spent too much time on. So, we've maybe, invested a lot of time trying to make a deal work when there's been red flags at the start, and we should have walked away a lot earlier on, and we've maybe took longer than we should have to say this deal doesn't work for us. And a lot of the deals that we didn't do are the best deals that we've done.
Absolutely. And what are for you, what are these different businesses that you guys are in? Because I understand it's a lot of real estate, but then it's other areas as well.
Yeah, we look after real estate. So we look after buildings and a lot of social housing. We have companies that maintain and do them and convert them into clean energy and decarbonize, residential properties. We have various property companies ourselves. We're partnering with civil engineering and architectural and planning businesses now over in the US. We own real estate there in Spain. We're in the security space with CCTV and various AI related products in the security space is a new really exciting project for us, and that's both the US and the UK at the moment. So we've got a number of stuff that partners that we do, and it's just been an evolution over time.
Absolutely. So in the beginning, were you just focusing on specific areas? Because I hear sometimes there's two different modes. Like some people are, hey, we can run several businesses and they'll all rise. And then some people are like, we focus on one, we grow it, then we kind of branch out. How do you guys go about that?
When we first started, we were purely focused on cash flow and generating cash flow, and it was property for us. So we built a huge property portfolio, residential, commercial, and student accommodation, and then we just naturally progressed into or diversified into various different businesses.
But the key to that isn't necessarily the sector. If you understand where we started and how our mind works, it's very much, and it's the rich dad model, and there's two parts of it. It's very much it's cash flow.
Yeah.
It's cash flow is the sector. So whatever is generating cash flow, we have an interest in. Also, with equity and capital gains is something that has came at the back of that for massive, bigger wealth and equity. So we just evolved into that. So it isn't necessarily the sector; it's the opportunity within sectors that may get presented to us. One of the things that is our strengths is when we got into the property business, it was because we seen opportunity. When we got into the maintaining building services, is because we seen the legislation coming in for decarbonising, for
all the compliance
and eco and making sure that the buildings are more energy efficient and cleaner energies. We've seen that. So anything that gives us that's scalable globally and is a compliance thing globally. So that goes to your clean energies now, real focus on that. Real estate, there's a housing crisis the world over. The healthcare, is just getting massive. And AI, I mean, the opportunities around that and security are just huge. So whenever there's a global demand, potential, global market, and generates cash flow, that's how our mind works. That's more important really than the sector. Then of course we don't buy. I mean, when we first started out, it was dead easy, one single family home to get enough of these, to get enough cash flow that we can be financially free, and that wasn't much that we needed because we had low expenses. But then we've just grown and grown and grown, never stopped the core principles of what we learned and continue to learn around cash flow and growth, leverage. It's the same principles, just repeat, 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 repeat.
I love that. Yeah, I love how it's different. It's the same principle, but it can be across different sectors. It's the same idea of like, oh, you want to buy real estate? Why are you buying globally? Because it's the same principle. It's all the underlying cash flow. So do you think today's time, because I know the interest rates are high, there's a couple different is now still a good time for people to invest?
In what?
In real estate, in different properties. And
well, different countries have different opportunities. At the moment, we aren't investing in real estate in the UK. We wouldn't be investing in the UAE just at this moment either. So the US market, we are watching and seeing what's going on. I think the multifamily, could be in a bit of a bubble, but look, there are always opportunities in places. They're not what we're finding it with the regulation and legislation that's came in. There are a number of, like the UK, very difficult. The dynamics for cash flow are completely changed today, 17, 18 years later.
Oh, really?
They're completely changed. So, but there's still capital gains market now. You can make money on a capital gains, so flipping properties or redevelopments or developments is an area, but cash flow is very, very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting thing, because a lot of people don't change their principles. But when you start looking at the market changes, like with higher interest rates, with the higher pricing, it's like, how do a lot of these work? Like a lot of the models don't work that much anymore. Yeah.
And some of the stuff, like as well, even financial freedom. For us, the holy grail, the magic elixir was to be financially free. That's all we wanted from day one. It was to us. But just because we became financially free within 12 months of quitting our job, a lot quicker than we thought. We thought it would take us 3 years. We've done it in 12 months. And but just because you're financially free doesn't mean it's permanent. You can't just go and lie on the beach and that's it done.
As you said, the markets can change.
Markets change things. You have to be on it. And that was one of the things that we didn't really understand at the start. We just thought you got financially free and that was it. Happy days, we'll just lie on the beach and laptop lifestyle. We should learn that. So it's one of these things, but then for us, it changed from, we love working, we love growing, we love developing. Why would we stop here? We love the challenge. We love the game of it. We love everything about it. So I think financial freedom, whilst for a lot of people, and I can understand it if they're coming from not much at the moment, that's a good first step, but it's a very, very dangerous place to be in. If you take your eye off the ball, I think it can make you fat, lazy. You can get ahead of yourself, and you watch how quickly that financial or how permanent that is. It's a very dangerous place if you think that's it and you're just going to stay there. You have to keep going. You must keep going because things are changing, constantly. And but if you're like us, you learn to love that. That's it. That's not something to be fearful of, and I'm not trying to put people off. But that's honestly, that for us probably was one of the worst places, and we still don't like it. That we get complacent, because that's when the bad things happen. That's when you end up getting hurt.
Yeah, no one realizes that to get to that point of financial freedom takes an insane amount of effort, whether it's in 4 months, 12 months, 10 years, it doesn't matter. It's an insane amount of effort, and you got to adjust your habits. You got to think differently, and you got to do all these transitions. That's why when a lot of people get to this point of I'm sitting on the beach with a laptop, it's like that might be cool, but that's not. If you got to that level, then you're the type of person who wants to keep going. Like
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you don't sit there and go, yeah, I'm ready to turn off. Like I'm just gonna sit here and waste the potential. It doesn't happen that way.
No.
It yeah. So for you guys, like one of the pillars in Edwards Consulting is there's community service philanthropy. I understand philanthropy is important for you guys in community services.
Yeah.
How have you seen that grow in its own capacity through when you started to where you're at today?
It's one of these ones we've always made it a requirement of us, whether we've had the money or not.
And it's changed substantially over the years. You know, when we first started out, you would be like competing in marathons or, you know, events to try and raise funds. But as, you know, we became financially free and we can afford to give money, it changes.
Yeah, and I think, so what's happened is we've always done it. You know, the whole charity, you know, part of it, I don't know if you've ever played the cash flow board game, Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow board game, it's a part of it, you know, it's on it. It's, you know, 10% of your income goes to charity, blah, blah, blah. It was always part of our psyche anyway. We just done, and there was no predetermined amount of time or anything. We just done it naturally. When opportunities came up, we would do that. But now we've been supporting various charities over many years, or various community initiatives and local sports teams, and I say local in Scotland mainly. So we've over the years, but you know, now we'll our chosen sort of charities, if you like, is we do Codwell Children in the UK, JDRF, which is Junior Diabetes Research Foundation in the UK. We commit heavily to them, so we put a lot of money and time into promoting those charities. But we also have Carlings Sport, where we sponsor a number of, whether it's, you know, soccer clubs,
but we've got a young rider, motocross. He's 5 years old. He's absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
He's winning all the competitions that he's in.
So, and we do a lot of charities, you know, local charities in Scotland. I say local, Scottish charities as well. So, but it's just been something that's grown and developed over the years. And actually, when we talk about it now, I kind of go, wow, you know, that we've done it. There's been a hell of a lot that we've done, you know, over. And I'm not saying it. It's just subconsciously we just do that. We've given our properties to homeless folk for you know, we've offered them up for years at a time when there's been a housing crisis over the years, and we've just done various initiatives like that. But it just kind of comes natural now. But you know, when we're signing up for some of we're part of the what's it, Life Changer Circle with the Codwell Children, and that's a big financial commitment that you have to sign up for, and that doesn't matter who you are. You know, you've still got the poor person beside you. When you sign up to commit to give something for a 10-year period, it's a hell of a commitment that doesn't matter how much money you've got, you know, that you've got, that you're signing up for. And that was another, but we just firmly believe in, if we can, we should. And yeah, that's where we are with that.
Absolutely. And I love that, because I realized that, like you guys were mentioning, it sometimes is the little things. It's sometimes the big things. It's really whatever you can give, but it just needs to be top of mind and in the subconscious, where you're thinking about it in different ways of, hey, I actually can help these people. And for the audience listening, it doesn't take a whole lot to help someone. Like, I think like a month ago, I bought a guy, there's a homeless guy around like where I live, and he was like, dude, I'm hungry. And I'm like, I got no food. And then I like looked around, I'm like, there's a Burger King. I'll go buy him Burger King for $5, give him a burger, some fries, and like it makes him feel better. It makes you feel better, and you're like, this is a win-win-win. But as I'm talking about Tampa, I understand you guys have business in Florida. Well, what are you doing in Florida?
We do. We're working with some great partners down there that we've known them for the best part of 12, 18 months now. It's a civil engineering company called Elevate Holdings. It's a civil and structural engineering, design, architectural and planning company. So these guys are very active in acquiring other businesses in Florida mainly, and Texas they're looking at. But fantastic. Elevate Holdings, Chris and Dan are the two guys that we work with down there. We have our first acquisition that we are hoping to get through in the coming weeks, and with a pipeline, a real sort of heavy pipeline right at the back of that. So the plan is that we grow and develop in that sector, and those guys are local experts in that field. And yeah, I mean, they've been a cracking bunch to deal with and work with. And we were over in Orlando
In January.
in January and spent some time with them. We'll be back across again, probably in April or May. So yeah, really got a great bunch of guys. So yeah, if anybody's looking to sell their business or partner up with a structure civil engineering business, we'd be happy to talk to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now that you bring that up, how do you guys think about all the travel you guys do? Because I think you view it as like a lot of people will sit there and go, oh no, I can't go to Orlando. You're like flying across the world, and you're like, we'll just pop in a month or two. Like it is what it is. Like, and I love that.
I think, like we spoke about it earlier, we love meeting new partners and working with great people. We love the travel, we love seeing the world. So it doesn't, sometimes you come back and you're absolutely shattered, but it's been worthwhile. You always get something out of it. You always, meet new people, and you might meet people that you do business with, or you might meet people that you don't, but there's always connections.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what do you guys look for when you're looking for partners or investment partners in any capacity?
We're looking for people that are on the same wavelength as us. We're very ambitious, very motivated, very focused on advancement, and so we're not looking just to retain it. We're looking for people that see opportunities in sectors like us that maybe are just struggling for the wherewithal to deliver and make it happen, but can see it clearly, can explain it to us, and are prepared to commit themselves to deliver on it over a period of 4 or 5 years. Is generally how long we look to keep the investments going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys are incredible. Where can people learn more about you guys and the Carling Group and everything you guys got going on?
Well, our website is thecarlinggroup.co.uk, or we're easily found on LinkedIn, Graeme, Graeme .Carling on LinkedIn.
And Leanne.Carling on LinkedIn, so it's LEANNE.Carling.
Awesome. I will throw that all in the show notes. I really appreciate the time, guys, and this has been awesome.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Jordan. Thank you.